What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to a special, man. Listen, it's been therapy sessions recently. We've been talking, and I had to bring through my guy, Mr. Avelino. What you say, man?
Come on, I'm here, man. Thanks for having me, man.
God save the streets.
Yes, God
save United.
My precious, our precious club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just want to start by saying, cool. It might be a difficult moment, but it gives me the feeling that I love them even more. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you, bro. It is definitely tough times. Av hit me up, and he said, "Flex, I need to talk.
I
need to talk." And you know when it's like that. You know when it's like, I need to be heard. And we've been meaning to kind of link up for a hot minute as well.
100%,
So,
100%.
and for those of you thinking, you know what I mean, you might not know who Avelino is. Av is, just type it in Google. Yeah, big artist. You know what I mean? Game changer, doing a lot. We've always fucked with your stuff, man. So big up to you. But more importantly, at this moment, massive Man United fan.
Yes, 100%.
Huge 100%, Man United
fan. Man United makes up a big part of who I am, who you are. You know what I mean? And just recently things have been interesting. Do you know what I mean? Interesting, but I'm here to sort of. I want to try and bring a balanced sort of emotional perspective to the Man United faithful, because everyone's probably hitting the panic button saying, "Oh my God, Ten Hag out."
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I would like to say things may not be as drastic as they seem.
Okay, so let's break this down, because I know you just even through your music.
Yeah.
You're a deep person, intellectual person.
I guess
you know what I'm saying? And I love it. You've got a lot of substance, very deep. What's your feelings then on like where we are at, and like how we move forward, and where you're saying, is it as drastic as we feel? And because obviously it feels like press the panic button, get 10 out of traffic.
Exactly. But the only reason why I say that is, are things bad? Yes, they are bad. But the reason I say they're not as drastic as they seem is because it's been difficult. It's been we've got, since Fergie left, we've got 10 years to look at now. And when you look at the 10 years, you can see clear repeated patterns. Now, as a man who's been watching football since I was a little young boy, I don't believe that you yourself, someone very knowledgeable in a beautiful game, is going to sit here and say Ten Hag is a bad coach. I don't think anyone who watches football is going to say that's a bad coach. I don't think we're going to sit here and say Van Gaal is a bad coach. That's one of the most important managers of the last 20, 30 years. I don't think we're going to sit and say, just the coach after coach after coach, these are good football people. I don't think we're going to sit here and say Casemiro, Falcao, Di Maria, Paul Pogba, all of these great players, we're not going to sit here and say they're bad players. These are great players. These are world champions, Champions League winners, top players to even earn the big move, But what I would say is when you look at the whole landscape of things in 10 years, then maybe it's wiser, it's smarter to forget this whole personnel, or manager, and look at the bigger picture and look at, the whole structure of the football club and how things are run, Because another point I've been thinking about is, we do the whole glazer out thing. I'm like, look, let me just bring a balanced view, in a sense where over the last 10 years, Glazers, they're businessmen.
Yeah.
Which is fine, that can work in football. They're businessmen, they don't seem to be football heads. That can work in football. If the football, so if the business is affected by the football performance.
Yes.
Because then you got the incentive to make the football performance work. But from what I've seen over the last 10 years, I only remember once where United, in terms of the rich list, dropped out of the top 3 or 4 quote, message or whatever, quote me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. But from what I've seen, that's been the case. So you've got this giant football club, huge football club, Manchester United, which is brilliant, which is a brilliant thing, but it seems to also be our curse. And there seems to be a conflict of interest within the establishment, because it's like you've got these businessmen that's doing what they do in the nature of business, which is fine. But the business is not so affected by the lack of, if you just looked at, revenue and all these things over the last 10 years compared to other clubs, you'd never know that United hadn't won Premier Leagues or Champions League.
I said this many times that Man United is one of probably the only clubs that can go 10 years without a trophy, 10 years without, a significant, a Champions League or Premier League, competing at the top, and, be at the forefront, like you said, of advertising deals, of sponsorship, of generating revenues, of still being able to spend this amount of money on players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We spent close to what City has spent, maybe even more, 1.something billion since then. We're not broke. We maybe are now because the money's run out, which is a separate subject, and we'll talk about that. But it's true. It's because Man United is so gigantic,
huge,
that the Glazers haven't had to always put their own money in, because Man United will generate enough by itself.
100%. And it's like the football fans, the emotion towards the club, you would see someone like Ed Woodward and hate him. But according to the vision from the top, is he doing a bad job?
Oh, he's done a great job for them.
Do you understand?
For them,
so it's about understanding what's
actually
you get what I'm trying to say? Get the revenue, sign Di Maria, sign all these people, boom, boom. They're not such footballing decisions though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's what basically I feel inclined to express. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because emotion will have a but if we see perspective and actually consider everything, then fans, I don't believe, will start talking about Ten Hag out. You're not going to sit there and tell me Ten Hag's not a good football coach. I'm sorry. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Otherwise, we're watching a different sport. But it's when you come to manage Manchester United, it's a different. It's not just about football here. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, I think a great skill of us as people, as humans, what makes us human, I think, what makes us special is the ability to sort of see things through, put ourselves in someone else's shoes. Do you get what I'm saying? Or see things from a higher level. You get me? So, you know, we're looking at another problem that we have is, you know, Sancho, Anthony, Rashford, talented players, earn more money than Mohamed Salah on a weekly basis. That's not their fault.
No.
That's not their fault.
Man United offered them the deal.
It just comes with the massiveness of Manchester United. But then that comes with its other problems, I believe. It must come with its other problems. Like I said, I'm no expert. I'm only giving my best sort of observation, and I'm open to being wrong. Do you know what I mean?
That's what. Listen, you lot got to get involved in the comments. This is what we want. This is the open forum to express how we feel as United fans.
So then the question begs is like, how then do you walk into this dressing room, you know, with young men who are, like I say, without the achievements and accolades of Mohamed Salah, earning more than him, and get them to show up every day, just find the motivations to, you know, give 100%, go the extra amount. I mean, give them the incentives, because if you start at 350 bags a week, like you said earlier, where does it go from there?
Exactly.
Or how do you even get the motivation to? It's difficult.
But also at Man United as well, yeah, you got guys on that. So them guys you just said there, like you said, talented players, of course they are, but not delivering. And like you said, earning more than Mo Salah. But what Man United also do is, even some players below that bracket that maybe are nowhere near getting big wages. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to move them on, because that gives you, in terms of the football business side of it, how do you then move a player on who's on that much money, who's going to take that money? Is the players going to, I ain't leaving.
That's what I'm saying.
Got 3 years left, mate.
That's
I ain't going anywhere. So we're creating that, and that is the decisions that the football club makes with the people that the Glazers have in charge who run the football inside of things as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, it's difficult because from their end, it's about commerce, the commercial side of things.
Exactly.
And these are not footballing decisions in terms of how the wages run, etc. United's a massive club, so it comes with so many problems. Other fans will look at us and go, they will say, oh, they spend a lot of money, why these are always complaining? Brother, that's like a group of kids at school. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Go, your parents spend loads of dough on you. Why are you complaining about their bad parents? I'm not even saying they're bad owners. I'm just saying for a football project, spending money is one thing, but if there's no time, care, effort to put the right structures in place for the football project to work, then is it the right situation for a successful football project? Now, good managers and good players can see success, as we've seen temporary success.
Yeah,
we've won the Europa League, FA Cup, getting to here in finals, boom, boom, etc. Carabao Cup final, but top four. But it can't be sustained. It's unsustainable. Guardiola had a quote the other day in the press. And they asked him about, you know, City's success and stability. He said, I have a good relationship with the chairman, CEO, sporting director.
All going in the right direction.
We all have the same, something about the same direction. And that's why things are the way they are and so stable. That's arguably one of the greatest managers of all time, telling you that it's not just all about what I do. when the Arabs over at City came to own the club, straight away I believe they went and got the Barcelona guy, the technical director with a complicated name.
Yeah, I know he's got a mad name. Yeah.
If I want to make an album...
And look at the infrastructure around Man City's ground as well, buying up the land, redeveloping it, they've been an arena next to it. It's more than just what players we're going to buy.
When 50 Cent takes over the world and Dr. Dre's the executive producer, Eminem's involved, the videos are a certain way, the story's in place, and you get the biggest rapper in a condensed period that we've probably ever seen in modern history. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so with the music example I give you is there's thousands of producers out there, good producers, of course. But, you know, if 50 Cent has the right executive producer, i.e. Dr. Dre, you know, the right team with a unified vision, then he's got a better chance of using the right beats. Do you understand? So if a coach, i.e. Ten Hag, has, you know, the right people working with him, i.e. sporting director, we're signing good players. You're not going to sit and tell me Mason Mount's not a good player. That's a good player who was decisive in the Champions League final. Allow me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Onana, that's a top. Yeah, we saw his performance in the Champions League last season. Pretty much, like, for me, I was at the finals, man of the match for me. Do you know what I mean? Casemiro, these are top level footballers. Some of the highest level footballers we've seen in recent years. But if you have all these people with a unified vision, experts in different areas, then you have a better chance of getting the right players.
And that's what we haven't had for a long time.
It's not about getting top players, it's about getting the right players.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, if from the top down, the interest is not conflicting in a sense where the football project comes first, it's going to be difficult to have the right things in place. You know what I mean? The best sort of environment for the football project to thrive. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is United is almost like Hollywood. It's like it's a big gift and a curse how huge the club is and how, you know, I think there just needs to be a unified sort of, this is what we want, this is where we're going. And when we had Fergie, it was great because he kind of set the vision of the whole club.
A different level, yeah.
You know,
and could mask some of the things that the Glazers were, you know, the Glazers probably haven't changed over the whole time. Their intentions always been their intentions. Yeah. They came here and we had the great Sir Alex Ferguson. We had David Gill, one of the best in class upstairs.
You mentioned it, okay, David, bro, this is what I'm saying. David Gill, Sir Alex Ferguson. Everyone knows the sort of synergy there team, bro. In terms of the recruitment, etc., etc. Another David Dean Wenger. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Such an important period in English football transfers in terms of the trajectory sort of the Premier League, in terms of how we recruit players. It's so important.
It changed the face of it.
Changed the face of it. Like I said earlier, Pep and the fella from Barcelona never.
Right now at Barcelona, you got Tony Bloom and you got De Zerbi or Potter or whatever it is. They're in line with it. Doesn't matter. We can get rid of Potter. We can get De Zerbi.
Because
same thing.
Exactly, because the manager falls in line with the unified vision of the club.
I can't remember the Liverpool guy's name, but they've got a guy.
A good example as well that you mentioned the managers. When Pep leaves or whatever, Barcelona, you can have Tito come in, or you can have Luis Enrique come in, and they will have success because there's the Barcelona way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Top down, and then, or, you know, I don't know.
Perez, Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he said, he loves it.
So, boom, and now there you go. Florentino Perez, and we've been doing this whole sacking managers thing, sacking manager. Like you say, Perez, let's look at two clubs that have done the whole ruthlessness in terms of sacking managers over the years and seen success. Chelsea and Real Madrid. What's the common denominator between Chelsea and Real Madrid in that sense? The two owners absolutely love the club in a football sense. Do you get what I'm trying to say? They're almost like diehard fans. I don't remember many games not seeing Roman Abramovich there celebrating goals just like the players.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what his motivations are, but he's probably wants Chelsea to win every trophy so he can show off to his billionaire mates. Do you know what I mean?
On the yacht. See my man. See the Champions League this one. See that.
So with that, you can be ruthless with management because you're going to do everything you can to make this football project work so you can go off and show off to your mates and be happy that your club's winning.
He's going to invest in some of the best coaches. He's going to invest in some of the best facilities and more importantly, the continual investment into the football.
Exactly. Florentino Perez. You only got to watch the David Beckham documentary to see that club is that man's pride and joy. Different. He carries the name of Real Madrid with more honour, more pride than all the players. probably all the players that's ever worn the shirt. Do you know what I mean? And that filters down to the bottom. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That sort of the personality of an owner, I feel, filters down right
100%. And I think everything you said is spot on, because it's essentially you guys at home, we've all been screaming it. I mean, some people, obviously, I think sometimes we lose sight of that in the short-sightedness to get another manager out.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna take myself away out of this and say I'm immune. Listen. Yeah. The last couple of games, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna be real, and I could be honest. Like I've focused more on Ten Hag a bit, because I'm
of course.
Because we're gonna talk about him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Of course, because obviously there's the stuff going on upstairs, and we know essentially that until that changes, nothing.
Sustained success.
Go and get us Pep Guardiola tomorrow. He will start making demands of things of which he needs to make the football side of it work, and it won't be in place. It will fail. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who it is. And then there's the side of the on the ground, day to day, 9 to 5 at the training session. The training sessions you're doing, the way you're handling situations, the way the players take to you. And then there's the other side where it's another set of players that have maybe down tools, the lepers don't change their spots kind of thing. And until we could change that, then there's some of the players Ten Hag's brought in. If you're looking at Anthony, does he look like he's meant? Probably not.
That's what I'm saying.
You're looking at other players he's brought in.
Even with the players he's brought in, I think, it's fair to criticise.
Yeah.
It's fair. But then it's in terms of the way we work, it seems like, again, I could be wrong, it seems like he's got a lot of control.
He's got a lot of say. Probably too much.
Too much, do you understand?
Typical Man United, we've gone from the managers don't have really that much control.
Too much.
Then we get the guy in and say, you basically do everything. You got veto on a lot of things. And all of a sudden, we've got these Eredivisie guys, or most signings we've made have a history with Ten Hag. Yeah. Even down to Mason Mount.
Exactly.
He's only because he hasn't played for him, but when Mason Mount was on loan in Holland, he played against Ajax.
Oh, okay.
So it's just I've seen him, I like him. Amrabat, he had at Utrecht way back when. There's always an association. Malacia was at Feyenoord, played against Ajax. Who's that kid? There's an association, and I get it to a certain extent that the manager's vision for how he wants his team to play, you kind of have to let him express that into what his signings look like. There has to be a degree of that, but if you don't rein that in at some point, you end up with your Anthony's.
Yeah. And the thing is, like we say, too much. Bro, we're talking about Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger, all these great examples of top managers in collaboration. Even over at Arsenal, there seems to be a good situation in terms of the collaboration between Edu,
do you know what I mean?
And Arteta.
Josh Kroenke, he got control of it more from his dad, and then went, right, this is how we're gonna. They pressed the a stop button, and said, we can't operate like this. We can't operate. You only got to watch the Amazon documentary to work out what they did.
Exactly. And I guess what qualifies people that maybe like myself to sit here and talk about football in a detailed way is that no matter what endeavour and industry, principles don't change. I gave you an example of 50 Cent and Dr. Dre. Do you get what I'm trying to say? A clear Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. Experts in different areas that come together to do something special that they could not have done alone.
Yeah.
In the history of mankind, no great thing has been achieved alone. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's an obvious fact that two or more batteries will provide more energy than one. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's then an obvious correlation that two or more experts, do you get what I'm trying to say, will provide greater results than one, having too much control.
And we've had no experts. Because a lot of the time, you can say about experts, like back to the Woodward thing, it's like what happened with him is fantastic in terms of the commercial side of it. Go and secure Man United a new shirt sponsor. Get Tezos on there.
Bro,
get Aeon, get Chevrolet. Bro. Do you know what I mean? I think he might have sorted out the team viewer before he left. Whatever it is. When it came to sign up with Cadbury's, do you know what I mean? Go and get the Diallo wine or whatever it is. Maui gym glasses, whatever it is, the commercial deal that you need to do to keep us sustainable, go do it. That's your job. That was working fine. Then they started putting him in charge of footballing decisions. Big footballing decisions when his background is accountancy and banking. What are you going to know? It's the same thing where if we're looking a little bit more forward, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in, fair enough. Ineos and Sir Dave Brailsford and man, they're cycling, man.
100%.
Are they going to be, you know what I mean? It's about getting, like you said, the experts in the field. Especially at a club like Man United, where we should have through to the chef.
100%.
We should have the most Michelin star chef every day.
Yeah.
Through to the academy coaches, we should have the top of who've come out of the FA or around the we should have the best. The facility, we should have the best.
100%. And so, I guess, cool. It seems like, to a listener now, it could seem like we're saying we're absolutely doomed until, you know, ownership changes. I don't believe that has to be the case. I think it's very difficult whilst, you know, there's a conflict of interest within the football club. But, you know, it's got to be solutions only. And that's what would be Ten Hag's perspective right now. Solutions only. Otherwise, just pack it in. Solutions only. So, and like I said, I'm no expert, but I just feel like life and football, you know, the great Pep Guardiola said this the other day, life and football, you know, are coherent, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like if I'm to give a 2 pence, these footballers, the team, the club, the you know, the coaches, the team, we need to find common ground. We need to find a common motivation, common respect, like call you lot all hundreds of thousands and boom, 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 boom. But I'm sure the most part of us come from humble beginnings, working class backgrounds, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like if I ask you the question, what kept you going? Why did you become a professional footballer? What pushed you over the line to get to this stage? I mean, go back to those motivations and you'll find a common sort of relationship and connection with everyone else that's playing in your team. You know, and also hopefully then the love of the beautiful game, also something that brings us together. And I say that because we just need to find motivations and things that unite us.
Do you think that's a challenge that Erik ten Hag, under the current structure, is up to? Because a lot of fans are saying, echoing what you're saying in terms of, listen, it's not just about sacking another manager. Like, it's not going to get us anywhere. Like you said, it's not just about,
I think those are wise fans.
And a lot of you guys at home in the comments have said this. I've seen it. And in the live shows, they're saying, don't sack him. We need to stand by him. Yeah. It's going to be more pain. There is going to be more pain.
100%.
But like you said, we've seen the cycle. Yeah. We've seen this before. We've seen the players start to down tools. Then the manager gets sacked. Then the new manager comes in. Then there's a bounce. Then that manager gets sacked. So we have Man United. I said this morning on the show. I said Man United got the chance now to stop the continuation of that cycle. They can pause the cycle now. I get that, you know, football is a results business. And listen, if you've listened to me for the last couple of games like you guys have, I probably got a little bit lost in it in terms of like, I'm really looking at Erik. I'll be honest. Because there are certain things that are at his doorstep.
I understand.
That are every manager's doorstep, because they're the decisions you make. It's your job to get the players motivated. It's your job to bring in the right signings. It's your job to give us a style of play. All of those things.
Yeah, but so I'll bring you back to the scenario. Like school, for example. I didn't make a greatest effort in school, but you ever had a piece of work, you checked over it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The teacher gets it and they spot a mistake in the first 2 lines.
We're all human all the time.
Do you understand? So
see that all the time.
Sometimes you might think, Erik, boom, 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 this is right in front, right on your doorstep. But this is why the group or who man has around man, working with man is important, because that little check, we all need it, bro. Do you understand? Sir Alex Ferguson still had great number 2s. Not saying Ten Hag's number 2's not great.
No, of course, but he did though. That's a very...
Carlos Queiroz, Rene Mullis, the greatest manager in Manchester United history, arguably in football history, still understood that the people around him were crucial, bro. Carlos Queiroz got the Real Madrid job. His number 2 was appointed number 1 at Real Madrid. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know, Rene Mulliston's a good, we all know, man of football in that number 2 role. These are good people that he's employed because he knows, he gets it. His life is the same. So it's like, you know, to make sure that, and what that will ensure is that, you know, when the teacher gets the sheet of paper or your work, that mistake that was spotted in the first 2 lines, your person clocked it before he even gets there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So there's things that could show up on his doorstep, but we're actually only human. And it's like this club is so massive that we've seen it swallow the biggest players and the biggest managers to the point of human beings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kings and gods of football. And they look really human by the time they're on their way out of Manchester United.
Do
you get what I'm trying to say? And you know, body language, he looked like he's getting to that place, but I believe the coach is strong enough to regroup and really look at what principles he needs to reinforce.
What does he have to change then? What of the things that he is in control of? Playing squad. Who he starts, who he doesn't start. How, you know, the relationships. You know, we look at some of the faces there, and like it's quite a damning. Like that's the feeling of these players right now, right? What does he need to do now in the immediate to get, you know what? Because football's ruthless. To buy him time, bro. Because you know it's like if we lost the next 5 games in a row, he's gonna get sacked.
Yeah, 100%.
So what does he need to change for you?
For me, look, I can only go off before I even answer it. I'll say something I appreciate more now in my more senior years than I did as a kid from Alex Ferguson is whenever you heard him speak, he often just spoke about the basics and the principles. He never got too techie in his sort of, you know, breakdown of football matches. He always spoke about concentration. He always spoke about mentality. He always spoke about effort. He always spoke about speed of play. He always spoke about, these are basics. So I say that to say this. I feel, you know, with Erik ten Hag, like I say, I have no managerial experience myself, but from the outside looking in, I would say, you know, the basics and the principles of what makes success are what he needs to focus on. Connection between, it's one of the hardest tasks of all time in any field, is to get a group of people, multiple people, to work together in harmony. And if you don't believe me, then try and do it and let me know how it goes. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It's not easy.
It's not easy, especially when, you know, they're 22 years old and on 350k a week through no fault of their own. They just play for Manchester United. So I would say that, bro, just try to find common ground between these top players, a common motivation, common goal. You know what I mean? We're all playing football, the beautiful game. Try and get them to work together. The basics, bro, because if you get the basics right, their talents, we have top footballers. If you get the basics right, teamwork, hard work, concentration, effort, application. You know, I feel like if United get these basics right.
Yeah, because this is the playing squad. This is on the ground. This is things you can change right now.
It looks like a lot of times that's what's missing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? After, because you look at even the game against Manchester City, for 45 minutes, I saw the basics, I believe. I saw the base, I saw aggression, I saw tenacity, I saw a game plan, I feel. You know, I was at the game.
The game plan was to be on the counter-attack, exploit them, and be compact.
And I think we probably, the reason why I didn't complain about the penalty in the first goal, because I feel like we only had ourselves to blame, because I feel like we had 2 or 3 good situations and we should have put the ball in the back of the net.
Counter-attacks, yeah.
But
Tomlin was running with the ball.
Exactly.
Hoyland was running with the ball. It's like the pass wasn't quite, and against a team like City, who are obviously the best in the world, we had to be clinical. And then a mistake happens and you can't recover.
But the problem, mentality, because the problem with the mistake for me is that, you know, you saw the spirit drop. So
it just goes,
you saw the gap between the two teams get bigger and bigger, and it wasn't that big for the first 45 minutes. And this is another area where life and football is similar, because I always believe in life. I saw the great man Robert De Niro sit down and talk about his philosophy is to be calm through the good and the bad, because no one's indispensable. You know what I mean? Tough times around the corner when something goes well, and when something goes bad, good times around the corner. So be calm, be grateful, but be calm. And the reason and the connection I'm making between that and football is when you go 1-0 down, don't change your principles, don't change your attitude. Be calm, because if you stick to the game plan, stick to what you prepared. You know, there's an opening.
And Ten Hag literally did the opposite. He said sorry for that. He said he made a mistake. We went in 1-0 down at half time, and by taking off Amrabat to bring it to the football, taking off Amrabat and putting on Mount, he's saying I abandoned the principles. And
which is fair. You know, like you see the great teams. I don't know, Pep's team, Man City teams. They go 1-0 down. I don't see panic in their play. They just stick to the Robert De Niro script.
Even Liverpool.
Do you know what I mean? They just be calm. Just keep playing their game. Keep playing their game, and stick to the game plan. Stick to the principles. And the opening will happen. You know, and that's arguably the best team in football at the moment. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, you know, in terms of where do we go from here? I think we need to find common ground between the players and build that connection between them, to work together to make this work. You know what I mean? Because it's not individuals that's going to make the season for Man United.
Nah.
It's a group effort. It's a team effort. It's like, I play for you, you play for me. I play for the manager, you know? Like, I see a story about, I think it was Antonio Rudiger talking about the impact that Carlo Ancelotti going around his house had on him, you know? And it's these little things outside of football that make a player go the extra mile for you on the football pitch. You know,
because some of the reports are saying that, you know, and again, you've got to take some with a pinch of salt because we know what it's like at Man United. When the hounds are out, the hounds are out. Do you know what I mean? The leaks start coming out, the journalists start twisting things. But there's probably some truth in some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
But the reports have been claiming that basically he's lost certain parts of the dressing rooms. There's little cliques of players. You know, you might have, and I just, again, I'm not in there, this is my assumption or my opinion on it. You might have like some of the English boys, you might have Rashi and obviously the Sancho things happen. You've got Luke Shaw, you've got Mason Mount. Then you're probably going to have the South American man or Spanish-speaking man. You're going to have your Casemiros, you're going to have your Martinez, you know, your Anthony, the Brazilian man, whatever. Then you're going to have maybe like the youngsters in one corner looking, going, bloody hell, like. So you obviously you've got Kobe Mainu in there, you've got Palestri in there, you've got Garnacho trying to come through and navigate. Then you've got like senior man who've just done stuff before. Casemiro and Varane probably ring each other every day. So. Then you got Wan-Bissaka who's just bare quiet, doesn't get involved in anything. Amrabat's just arrived, probably don't want to get involved in it. Just so fractious. And that, I think, is what is, when I look at it personally, I think that the dressing room is divided in terms of their experiences with the manager, where they're at in their Man United careers, and the most biggest thing of all, which any manager will say, bro, whether it's Sunday League, bro, or this top level football, wins. When you're not winning, that's the currency you need as a manager
100%.
to help believe in the principles, because the players drop out because they say, well, we've done what you said, we've run the extra 13k, or you said the X, Y, Z. And it is, sometimes you say it's a weak mentality, because you should be stronger than that as a pro, but they're going to be looking at Eric and saying, well, look at us. Then us as fans go, drop Bruno, drop Rashford. Look, why you got favourites? Why you got this? Why you got that? Then he fields. Then he drops them, man. Well, they're probably never going to play in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle anyway. But it's a whole different team. And before that game, most of us looked at that team against Newcastle and went, yeah, man. 10. Yes, Casemiro's back. Amrabat in there. You know what I mean? Get Reguilon, actual left back. All right, cool. All right, Hoyland needs a rest, but Martial should be able to do something. Let's get Garnacho. Wanted to see him on the right. Who was on the right that game? Anthony came in. Anthony came in. He hasn't got going yet, but you looked at it and said, all right, fair play. That team should be going and rolling over this. They've got Dummett playing. They've got Kraft playing. Do you know what I mean? Joe Willock ain't played for ages. He's coming. It's a Newcastle C team. And look what happened to it. So now you're looking at Eric and saying, it doesn't matter whether you play the A team, the B team, they're not working for you, they're not running for you, or your message hasn't got across yet.
Exactly. I fully hear you. So, which is why I always think about a common goal. You need to find common, because like what you described in the dressing room in terms of the different groups and different relationships, I don't believe that has to be a problem. Because I remember a speech, or I think Patrice Evra was speaking about it in the Champions League final, where he spoke about Alex Ferguson. He said, listen, all of you guys are from different parts of the world. You know what I mean? But then he emphasized on what that common goal of winning trophies or winning the Champions League or football is what brought them together. He focused on the common goal to make these guys feel like become brothers. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And in that group, obviously knowing some of the being lucky enough to know some of these players that, you know, represented United at that level, you know, I'm aware that there was the same thing. You'd had Rooney, sort of Ferdinand, Fletcher, etc. Then you had what would you have? Sort of Ronaldo, Nani, etc. You'd have, you know, Evra Park. You'd have these different situations, but when they came together, they had the common goal of winning trophies. They had a common goal of playing for the manager. They had a common goal of
that.
All of these, do you understand? They had all these things in common. You know what I mean? That push, regardless of their immediate friendship circles or their background or their culture, all these people from different parts of the world could work in harmony. You got to find harmony. I don't care what sport it is. It could be in basketball. It could be you got to find harmony, bro. And another thing is, you know, on a deeper one, in a deeper, not to go too off topic. It's not off topic actually. You know, another big problem with the new breed of footballers is, you know, unfortunately, not everyone has the best structures in place in their lives as young players to build the characters that make the top players. Because ability can get you to the top.
That's completely on topic, bro.
Ability can get you to the top, of course, but ability can get you to on the stage, but ability can't make you a legend or make you have a career as a top player. It's impossible. That does it because you just watch the David Beckham documentary. Fabio Capello says you're not playing for this team ever again. You train away from the team.
I didn't even know that happened when I watched that.
I didn't know what happened either. I didn't know what happened either, and it gave me more respect than I already had respect for Beckham, but more respect for him as a man of football because, bro, he got back into that team. How did he get back into the team? Because they noticed that he never missed a day. He showed up every day. Capello said,
I was thinking, why is it? This guy's just here all the time. To the point where the big man, them Figo, Ronaldo, Michel Salgado, Carlos, they went, let him back, man. Like, look at you.
And the thing is, it's another issue because it's like, did he learn that at Real Madrid? No, he learned that from his old man, his humble beginnings. Do you get what I'm trying to say? His mum, his background. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that I'd say, from a player's perspective, maybe football needs to do a big effort at looking into this. So it's like I feel like the family structure in 2023 is a lot different to what it once was. And that coupled with the fact that these young men earn hundreds of thousands a week means amplifies the issue even more.
And then when our environment isn't conducive to these types of players who could be coming in from these backgrounds that don't quite have that structure, if they arrived at the doorstep of Sir Alex Ferguson or Man United, that would be seen and addressed. Do you know what I mean? When you see another thing I didn't really know, because the footage was fantastic in that documentary. When you see Sir Alex bringing David Beckham into the change room with the big man, Steve Bruce, you going, brother, this guy Sir Alex must think you're good. Paul Ince is going, he's got him in the dressing room again. He's 100%. A little kid, little spotty-faced teenager. 100%. Because he's looked at it and seen what that kid's going to need to be able to get nurtured into the squad. And the whole Man United as an institution like that was run properly.
100%.
And the right people were in the right place. And it goes back to what's not here.
And he's with these young players from how old is Beckham? Like 12? What is it? Yeah. Like those are the age. That's 30. The ages where the mind is maybe most plastic. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So Ferguson's obviously aware of this, and he's making the effort to make, to mold mentalities from that age, because that's when, that's what gets you to the Real Madrid. When you're at Real Madrid and in that situation, you have the mindset to stick to the principles. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not, you don't learn that at 25. That's from them times, bro. You feel what I'm trying to say? Not all the talented young players have the luxury. I saw a picture of Jude Bellingham, wonderful player. Yeah. Jude Bellingham and his brother, his mother has eyes of steel. Yeah. Look at it. Look at it. Look at those two parents next to him. The structure that he has around him. Not every young player with talent has that that privilege, that gift. Of that. His mother looks like she'd stop a bus for that young man. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's for me, when I even just look at a photo, I ain't heard her speak. I ain't heard his parents speak. When I look at the photo, I'm just like, it's no telling why he's spoken about the way he's spoken about. You hear Paul Scholes speak about him. You hear all these people speak about him. Of course, they mention his talent, but they mention his temperament, character, principle. The kid. What was he? Captain at Dortmund.
Captain Dortmund for a bit, yeah.
That's how. Yeah. There's no other way to get that. You could get a quality talented footballer, but there's no other way to get that other than the preparation you have mentally.
And the decisions that he makes as well from that, because obviously we showed him around Old Trafford. He met Sir Alex.
But I saw the guy was doing interviews in German.
Yeah.
Allow him, he's different. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, obviously he has a base of talent, but then not all the young players have the beautiful situation he has of the people he has around him, i.e. his parents. I don't know them personally. I don't know his parents personally, but I take a lot from that one image I saw. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You can see it, you know? And then all of a sudden you get this beautiful combination which helps support a young man be what I think, is probably going to be, one of the most important English players we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Probably. I can't see how it doesn't go that way. Because he's got the attitude, he's got the temperament, he's got the integrity. He's got
I don't remember another youngster doing what he's. I mean, Rooney, when he came through, is probably one of the only ones I'd look at and say, because even when Gerrard first came through, and you speak about this as ex-pros as well, they can't. If you say Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Rio, you know, great, unbelievable players. But to go Real Madrid at 19, I think he is, or is he 20 now?
Mad, bro.
Whatever, and do that.
It's mad.
Put them on your back and carry them through.
And I think it looks like the structure he has in place at home is similar to them, man.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? You see Beckham's old man in his mom. Ria hasn't told me personally, but he speaks of the influence of his old man and his family at home, etc., etc. Like, let's look at other mentality monsters of today. Maybe Erling Haaland. You see his dynamic with his old man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm sure he had a big part to play in the way his mind is conditioned.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, it's not, bro, like, even Kylian Mbappe, bro, like, him and
his mum was riding out in the World Cup. She was cussing. And I can't remember what happened, but she was saying, I think the French fans were blaming her. She's riding out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a friend of mine is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He was, from what it seemed, basically on his way out, man. United out the door. But, you know, he got his head down. Worked his socks off. That ain't nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But I'm aware that his old man, his older brother, are very influential in his life in terms of keeping him grounded and making him do the right things. And not every young player has that luxury. And the problem is when you don't have that luxury, but you got enough talent to get you to United. And
means you're only going to go so far.
You're only going to go so far, but it's like you also have, can I swear?
Of course you can.
Shitloads of fucking money, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like managing these young boys and giving,
I hear you. So we spoke about the players, we've spoken about the Glazers. Just kind of lastly, I just wanted to ask you, like, how you feel about the potential of this Sir Jim Ratcliffe situation. If he does come in and get 25%, what does it look like? A lot of people saying that's why you can't sack Ten Hag, because, you know, you sack him, you get a new manager, then maybe this ownership thing happens, then they don't want him, and then it's all mad. Can that work? Does it sound a bit crazy? Like
it may be above my sort of kind of understanding as to what.
Because we don't even know what his manifesto is. We don't even know what.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think it's a really difficult question to ask. But I think I could tell you my hope. You know what I mean? My hope would be that if it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in and joins the business, or whoever gets involved in Manchester United, my hope would be that their big motivation is making the football project work.
They have to care.
You know what I mean? That would be my hope. And then from there, you know, I think at the very least, things will be better. At the very least. So I can only tell you my hope. I can't really tell you what the right thing is. I don't know their intention, their objective, like you say, manifesto, etc., ins and outs. So what's the, you know what I mean? I won't speak above my sort of expertise even. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
And a final word from you then on Eric, like either to the viewers, to every United fan around the world, to just me in here, just how, to Eric, like a closing statement to say like how you feel about him and what you still believe in.
Look, so a closing word to, you know, Eric and the whole of United. I'm no fool, you know. You're a good football coach. Eric Ten Hag is a good football coach, you know what I mean? I've been watching football a long time, you know, and I could be wrong. I just don't believe I am in saying that. I think it's in our best interest as Manchester United fans to get behind the team, get behind the manager, and, you know, I believe, you know, I'm not skilled as you, Eric, in terms of what you do, but I believe, you know, getting these players to work together, find the common goal, and really attack the basics and the principles of how to get success in any field probably is the most important thing. A common goal. These are people from all parts of the world, different stories, different backgrounds, you know, but we all play for Manchester United, we all love football, you know, and we just got to find that common motivation, man, to fight for the same goal, which is to represent this club in the right way. You know, we're a mammoth football club, which I guess in a way is the gift and the curse, but, you know, we've kind of got to use the negatives to our advantage, you know, so, or try to, you know, so anything is possible, and if someone wants to say to me that, you know, being successful with all these brilliant footballers and a brilliant manager, which is Ten Hag, is impossible, then that person isn't very genuine. You get me? So yeah.
There it is, Avelino.
Let's do it,
Listen,
man.
bro.
Come on, man.
Don't be a stranger.
Aye,
you know what I'm saying? Don't be a stranger. I know the viewers are going to appreciate this.
Come
you know
on,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Come on. I all feel better, man. It's like, you know, and just expressing yourself. Yeah, 100%.
Bro, trust me. Obviously, I do this every day of my life, yeah? And I'm so blessed. But like, you get like that where you just it's just pent up. Yeah. It's just like you just need to talk.
100%.
It's full on for everything. 100%.
Bro. And I feel like the best. I feel like in life, the best medicine is when you're going through something difficult. Find someone else who's going through a similar thing and help them through it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
For real.
So we're here sat here talking with a lot of Man United fans who are obviously going through a difficult experience. And it's like, if the feeling that my words could be helpful to them is great medicine for me right now.
Just like your voice and music, bro. And to finish off, bro, we got God Save the Streets.
God Save the Streets,
That's the latest tape out at the minute.
100%, man, definitely.
Any future plans? Can you kind of let us know what's around the corner, or you just kind of just simmering on that? Where we at?
So I guess, you know, God Save the Streets, obviously it's my debut album.
Yeah.
You know, it took so much effort, time, emotion that, you know, I'm kind of still there. It's out and it's done some good things, and I feel like, you know, I gave it too much effort for me to have just dropped it, and we're keeping it, you know, art is too precious and too, you know, so I feel I'm still there. Obviously, I'm working on new things.
Of course.
And the only reason why I haven't got anything to tell you in specific as to what's next is because I'm still working it out myself, you know what I mean? And whilst working it out, I'm watching football. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, bro.
You know
I don't know if that's inspirational to your music or not.
Do you know what, brother? If I'm honest, man, what kills us what kills us in football, excuse me, is the expectation.
Yeah.
So if you can just manage that
kills.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If you could just manage that and just love the beautiful game, you'll be fine, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, God Save the Streets is the album. And, you know, new music is definitely 100% imminent, you know, and I'm just taking my time to make sure it's as good as it should be to represent myself and for people to enjoy. You get me?
Quality control.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, quality control.
It's important.
Guys, listen, thank you lot for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you want to see more of Avelino here, if you like his takes, do you know what I'm saying? If you want to run him out the building, let us know. They will let you know, bro. They're brutal.
You know, and the thing is, bro, I think
it's brilliant.
For me, I'm like, you know, I could be wrong about anything.
It's opinion, bro.
I'm only here to give my best sort of judgment from where I'm standing. You get what I mean?
That's right. So make sure you smash a like on the video, guys. The link is in the video description below to everything AV's doing. And you guys already know we'll be back here with another video very, very soon. Take care. Peace.